We were talking about rewards. So that have the actually, where'd I put my coins?
They're in the closet already, where they will never come out of.
Well, no, because
This
I'm
was my
waiting to
point, by the
showcase
way.
it.
You were like,
So-
no, I'm going to use them. And I immediately open the closet and they're just stacked on top of other
Which
stuff.
is why I
and I'm
replied,
like,
I gotta wait till I get upgrade my deck and stuff, because there's only one coin I believe in here that's applicable to my deck. I mean, some of them are applicable to, I guess, my guys being attacked and stuff. But we're talking about rewards and stuff because we had these coins. Because if you look at this coin, look how thick it is. Look how nice. Well, each side, I gotta pick and choose my battles.
And get a bunch of them together. I like the way it sounds. When like, I told Colin.
This is ASMR.
I told Colin I wanted a pouch so I can put all the coins in and be
but the place we're at didn't sell pouches. They didn't sell pouches. They didn't sell mats. They didn't sell deck card binders. They happened to have a shipment in, so I was able to get one. But like,
it looks like it was a miniatures focused store.
Yeah,
the coins.
It's a really good jingle.
And so they mostly focus on painting figures and selling their own brand of figures. I think they had their own brand. I don't know. It's weird.
Use figures for Grand Archive? Is that?
Huh?
You were talking about using the figures. Would you use figures for Grand Archive? Like
no, they sold figures because it was a Warhammer store. Is what I was trying to say.
Yeah, they specialize in that. But I was pointing out they could also at some point in the future. This was how many? 8 coins. So here you can see how big 3 are. Super cool. Coolest thing I've seen in a while. But it'd be cool if another entry they did was metal dice, because metal dice are super cool. Just a single pair of metal dice that have similar, not the actual gem ornamentation, but as far as like the aesthetic of like have different colors on the edgings of stuff of the metal and have the Grand Archive logo or something embezzled on it. And that would be just that single pair of dice, I think, would be equal in value to the set of 8 tokens as entry, is what I was saying.
Yeah, and I was telling them they had metal dice, and then let me share the image. But they're called mechanical dice, and it was like automatic ones where you kind of push a button and it rotates. And they made them with Grand Archive artwork. I don't know who that is that's on it. I'm sure it's a character.
Oh, okay. So is that all metal?
Yeah.
I love it.
And for reference, we were looking at the video here. Let me pull it up.
Wait, isn't that? She looks familiar.
This is how this works. Go bunk.
She is somebody who has artwork somewhere, and I just don't know the name of the person on top of my head, unfortunately.
Let me play that video again. I wasn't sharing. Like, so that's how it works. And then how it looks is, for Grand Archive, is right here. So I super want one of those at some point, because this is such a cool idea, and I love that, like, ching click.
I would just use it to like fidget with. I would flip it all the time.
That's the other thing. It's a really good fidget spinner. Yeah.
Yeah.
It sounds so appealing.
These coins we got that Colin's showing up. I have one that I use. It's the what do they call it?
The buff counter?
No, it's not a buff counter. Durability counters. And so I'm always playing with his coins all the time. I'd actually put it away because I had it at the tournament. I was like, I gotta put this away. I won't stop playing with this thing. Just flipping it in my hand. But it is nice to have these.
I was telling him he needs to learn the thing that goes between all his fingers, like they did in Pirates of the Caribbean.
I don't know if I can do that though. That's the hard part.
Didn't you used to be able to do that? I used to know someone who could do that. It was cool.
No, it wasn't me.
Wasn't me.
So we're bringing back the podcast. This is basically the first go at it. Episode 0 is I'm referring to it as. So we'll do like kind of, I guess, brief introductions of who we are. Just I'm Oscar. I don't have webcam today, but I will have it for the next time. Sorry. And I'll let everybody introduce themselves just real quick around the table here.
I guess we'll go in clockwise. So I'm Colin of TCG Scrubs. Wait, what are we doing with our intro?
Just like who you are, where you started, what you.
Yeah, I've been playing card games. If you don't know me, I guess I've been playing card games since middle school is when I first started playing Yu-Gi-Oh, and then stopped for a while, and then got in with, was it Pokemon was the first one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's Pokemon, and then we found Force of Will, and then after Force of Will, tried going back to Pokemon during like the worst time possible, and so just stopped playing card games for a while, and then decided to try this one out.
Yeah.
Oh God, it's me. I am Melissa, and I actually don't know. I guess I played maybe one game of the first card game I played was Magic because I think Joey wanted us to try it. It was either that or Yu-Gi-Oh. I don't remember which one I was forced to play to try, and I didn't like those. But then Oscar came into the picture and was like, "Oh, there's cute cards in these other ones. Look at Alice in Wonderland." And then I got tied into Force of Will, and then I got out finally. And then he was like, "Oh, look at Alice in Wonderland again!" And I was like, "Damn it!" And so here I am.
Yeah, the same trick. It was fool me once, shame on her though.
Basically, I always do the key to getting Colin to play with getting Melissa to play, and if Colin and Melissa are playing, then Joey's gonna play.
Similar, yeah. Speaking of, I'm Joey, and I used to play like Magic when I was younger. Played a couple of like Commander games. Went to some like FNMs and stuff, and did more sealed. Eventually, I moved to Texas at some point, and that's where all these three guys live. And then we tried playing Pokemon, and I was like, "Ew, Pokemon, yuck." And then we got to switch to Force of Will, which I enjoyed because it's a lot like Magic. And then I moved back to California at some point, and then Oscar was bringing up more card games, and this is one that finally stuck, which is Grand Archive.
Yeah, and I guess back to me again. I didn't really give my history on it, but I started with cards technically in 6th grade with just collecting Pokemon cards because that's when they kind of first came out for me. And I fell off of that, and then it was like years later. My brother came home from school one day with a Charizard, and I was like, "Whoa, there's a full art card! That's cool!" And I just started buying up Pokemon cards, and then Colin saw my collection, and he's like, "Well, I want some Pokemon cards." And then we started playing, and then Joey came with Texas, and then it kind of goes from there. We did play Force of Will for a long time, so that was the main focus of our YouTube channel for the longest time was Force of Will. I would argue that we were like up there with 3 to 4 other main channels who were constantly making content for that card game for the longest time. That was mostly because I would argue we jumped on in Force of Will when it had its equivalent of what kind of Grand Archive went with. I found out recently that Fractured Crown was one of their not great sets that made some people maybe leave the game or even stores stop carrying it. Force of Will had that, but Force of Will had that really bad. We jumped on
multiple times.
Yeah, and when we jumped on in Force of Will, it had just happened 2 sets prior, and then the other thing that wasn't helping Force of Will was Reflector Frame was a card, which was basically a lot of I watch a lot of podcasts for the Grand Archive, and I'll see people go, "Oh, is this a tier 0 format? Is this?" And I'm like, bro, like I'm looking at y'all's top 8, and like 4 of the same deck made it in, but in like Force of Will, it was like, hey, top 32 with all Reflector Frame. The guy who
and there were still people defending it back then.
yeah, it was pretty crazy. But anyways,
I was like, wasn't Joey the one running?
I was defending. I wasn't using the worst of it, which is why it was okay.
Oh, okay.
He ran it at our locals, which was on life support for the entire time we played Force of Will.
Yeah, true.
But we played that. We did kind of get to an end on that. There's a lot of different reasons why we did that. If you take a look at the channel, I actually cleaned it up a few months ago before I thought about coming back. The only thing that exists on there anymore is all Force of Will stuff. We did do some other things afterwards, but none of that really hit. So I kind of want this just to be two things on the channel.
Stuff.
Yeah, I did.
Are my
we were like, we're gonna get into more snap, guys. And then
and we're doing a podcast for that too. And then everyone's like, oh, I'm busy this weekend, or I don't want to do this weekend. And then we just didn't do it anymore.
It was pay to win after a while.
Yeah, it
Yeah.
worked out because that didn't. They pivoted hard.
Yeah, they also did some stuff that we didn't agree with. But anyways, for the reason for leaving Force Will, there's actually probably like 2 videos before this one. The last podcast we ever did was that as our reasons for leaving and why we're leaving. So kind of like a nice into it.
Good flow,
yeah. And then it just goes straight into 2 box openings for Grand Archive, and now we're here. We're doing this podcast. We're back. I'm excited. For Grand Archive, I got this game on my radar. This was like right around COVID time. Also, when we were kind of falling out of Force of Will, I think probably after we record that video, maybe I had seen either an ad or Red Zone Rogue had shared a Kickstarter, and it was for Grand Archive. And so I had went into it and checked it out. It was really cool artwork. It was great. I wasn't going to back it because I wasn't sure, if anybody would be playing it, especially in Austin area. It's hard to want to put money into something and then have no locals to go play. Mm-hmm. So like then you're just got stuff you can't use. But I did proxy their kind of teaching decks they had, and I was going to teach everybody to play. But this is when a lot of like transitioning was happening too in our personal lives. Colin and Melissa were getting ready to move. Joey would visit from Houston with us, and so we had to, accommodate everybody's time to not just play card games all the time, but do what everybody wanted to do together. So I didn't get a chance to show them this game, and I was really sad. And then fast forward all this time, and now they're into it. I'm like, God, I wish I could have been the Kickstarter back then. I would have had some cool stuff to show off. But no, here we are though. I've been playing officially since October of last year. One of our locals from Force of Will, who I work with, name's Lee. He actually got me into it. He talked me into going to locals, saying that there's a scene getting started in Austin, and then that's where I got started. And I just showed these guys, and I was like, "This is really cool. I think you'll like it."
Speaking of something you said earlier, Oscar, which was like you saw it around or something. I was getting Force Will ads fed to me on like Google and like other like pages, and I was like wow, there's like it's like I think I was like on the TCG like a what's the TCG store, XYZ, and they had Grand Archive like ads like playing on the bottom.
Oh, okay. You started saying Force Will, but you meant Grand Archive.
Oh, did I? Yes.
Yeah.
Grand Archive ads. Yeah.
Yeah.
I was kind of surprised.
I
think there's probably some healthy crossover between the two.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think one of the great things, if you're a Force of Will player who's just coming back to check out what we're talking about here, I think if you haven't already, there's a great crossover between the 2 games. I think there could be a future video we make where we kind of make a transitionary kind of video. It's like, hey, you want to try it out? Here's how this transitions from Force of Will to this game, since that's our experience coming over into this. The certain important things that like I try to drill to these guys over and over. Stop saying recover at the beginning of the turn. That term means something else over here, and they're still using that.
I'm good on it. It's those 2.
I stopped
Recovering in Force of Will, for anybody listening, meant standing your units, while recovering in Grand Archive means gaining life. So
what happened though was I think I was probably shamed for saying untapping for so long, and then in Force of Will, and so then I switched my vernacular, and now I'm like, oh no, I do say recover now. Bad.
Yeah, it's hard to get used to new words sometimes.
Yeah, especially if you have played multiple card games and they all want their own verbiage and stuff like that. And it's like, and I guess it's partially the fault because I'm pretty sure some of the words I'm sure are copyrighted in some sense, but
I think so.
But isn't there also like a crossover of like similar artists and stuff for the cards?
Not that I've seen yet. I remember a few of the original Force Will artists names, like Wednesday. I think there's another one named Sigma, right? Man, I could be wrong on that last one, but not that I've seen yet. There's a lot of artwork, and it's hard too because some of the cards will show the original. I don't know what language it is, Japanese, Chinese, whatever it could be, characters for names sometimes. So it's hard to know who that is. and then you go look at the index, like their equivalent of their database on the internet,
It's
and
so nice.
the name is still in characters, and you click it just to see more of what they created. So I really don't know. And there's also a couple of companies that look like they have like 5 or 6 artists underneath them too, for some of these cards. So it's hard to really know. I was going to compliment the artwork and saying that I feel like in Force of Will there's a lot of great artwork, and there's some not so great artwork. Everybody was always vocal about some of those rough ones, like the final battle, which was one of the rough ones. And in Grand Archive, I feel like for the majority, it's really, especially the further they've come along, it's a lot of really good artwork. Where sometimes I look back at Force of Will, I'm like, yeah, some of these Force of Will artworks are kind of on the rough side a little bit, like.
No, there are some real rough ones, which is, it's fine, it happens, but there are some bad ones. I remember. Granted, I'm still new to this, but I haven't come across anything that's popped out to me yet, art-wise, as far as being bad. A lot of cool stuff where I'm like, oh, wow, that's really cool artwork for just like a pretty average card, which is always sad to see.
I mean, that's one of the things that got me into both of them is the art style. I think it's just it's really cute, but it's also really pretty, but then also really cool.
Yeah.
But I just like the styles that they both do.
Yeah, no, I like it too. There are a couple here and there that were from like the first set, maybe even second set, where it's like they weren't the best compared to like some of the stuff we see, but it was never as bad again as like certain Force of Will cards, like the final battle, where the artwork was just, that's the only one I can remember. There was a couple.
I'm trying to remember. There was another one right after that. I can't remember. There was a stream where like every set for some reason had at least 1 or 2 bad art cards guaranteed at it. I don't know why. And it wasn't even like, oh, they kept going to the same artist. It was different artists. I felt for some of them, and I don't know if it was a quota, but.
And for a little background, I'm somebody who grew up really into art, and I went to school for art. So it's like, I get it. If you're an artist listening to this, like there's no really such thing as bad art. It's just our takes on it. But it's just like for the aesthetic that the card games have, when you look at all the other artwork, it's like this one is a little bit out of place. That's a little bit obvious, especially when you look at them side by side.
Yeah. And especially with these card games, they don't tend to go for artistic takes. They tend to go for a very specific type of art. As you can see, that's very straightforward and not very unless it's like one of those special edition cards or something like that, where they're like, whoa, and everyone's like, whoa, that's crazy new artwork. And it's just because it's different than the artwork style. I'm not saying it's bad, but it's I don't think they go that art route.
Yeah.
It's a more unique taste, I would say.
But I will agree with what Colin did say a little bit earlier with that some of the artworks are really good, but it's like on a card where it's like, that's never going to see play, unfortunately.
Yeah. Yeah, that always is like, man, I really wish this was either seen play, so like you could see the art more, or if it was a higher rarity card so you could see a full art version of it instead of it being blocked by the text box and stuff, which is my only this semi gripe about this game is the lack of showcasing of the art we're talking about. But
yeah,
it was like more zoomed in, maybe, or like more prominent. Like, I don't know. It's interesting looking at like the characters, and I don't think I've like connected with any characters besides like the main one, I guess. But like,
yeah,
like I think Melissa getting in for like the Alice in Wonderland cards, which I think are looking pretty cool. Like I don't think I have like a connection to like Throne Keeper Bullfrog or like Ardent Censor, Was it Ardent Censor? Anyways, yeah.
I mean, to be fair, I don't have any of the Alice cards. I just like the cute ones.
Yeah. I also feel like, and it's important to point out, especially because, and I'll try not to repeat myself over and over again about this, but like, I feel like a lot of our audience are like old Force Will people or somebody getting into the game. Cause we are, kind of that, I think I call it a kitchen table kind of content for you. We're not the professional guys, There's actually another team who makes content called Team True Champion. And so they call themselves TCG. So while we're TCG scrubs,
Oh.
they're the TCG pros. They're the highly competitive guys. We're the exact opposite of those guys.
Highlight
But-
Yeah, our scrubs is in the name. Yeah.
yeah, it's heavily implied.
And real quick to reference what I was talking about. So here's what a normal card usually looks like, and they just frame it's very Magic the Gathering. They frame it inside of here, versus like we're Force of Will, where it kind of bled around the edges and stuff and was a full art thing, and versus like this is their Harbinger of Lightning, and this is gorgeous. I'm not saying every card has to be like this, but like there should be a lot more cards like this because. This one I do remember the character because it's the whole art piece is about the character and their little. What is this?
Is that her dragon,
That's
or
her
is
dragon.
it like her hair turning into? Oh no,
Is it a dragon? Is it not a serpent or something?
That
It's
is
like
your
one of
dragon.
those.
That is your Shenju.
Oh, that's Shenju.
That's Seryu. That's
Oh,
Seryu right
Lord.
there.
Oh,
shit,
Seryu.
we're getting
Yeah.
Yeah.
Seryu. Okay.
Yeah, that's Seryu because he's allowing you to play that card by having access to him, right? Right there, as long as you control an arcane element, Shenju ally.
Yeah. Senju, or he's a Senju ally.
It's flavor.
Yeah.
Right there.
So I will say that, yeah, I agree with you that showcasing the artwork, but also there's a thing that we enjoyed with in Force of Will, and that was being able to like quote unquote bling out a deck, like full art, foil cards, promo cards. Yeah, well, I know me and Colin are really into it. Specifically Colin. But it's in this game, it's a little bit different. Those full art cards are saved for certain rarities. So as you saw that card Colin showed, it had a UR for ultra rare. So only UR cards that are printed have that nice full art look to them. And earlier versions of URs, they actually didn't have that. Like Grand Crusader's Ring, which you've seen, that's a UR, but it didn't come in that nice full art look that the newer ones have. But those cards tend to be pretty expensive too, depending on what they are, especially for foil, unfortunately. So like I'll make up numbers, but like say that card that Colin showed is like say on average a $2 card, the foil version could go for like easy like $80 or $40 per card kind of thing, which makes it really hard to bling a deck out in this game.
Well, yeah,
But it
probably...
is also. Oh, sorry.
No, go ahead.
I was just gonna say it is also easy though to just get the whole set with the way that they sell it, so that you can have like an entire usable deck without having to spend, $80 and all of that to get all the cards. So you can go the high end route of having blingy, really expensive deck, or you can just get a starter deck that pretty much comes with, or starter box. I don't know what it's called, but comes with everything that you need. For those who don't,
You want to hold it up so you know what you're talking about.
I hold it up
you
for
already
earlier.
showed it.
Yeah,
But yeah, helps
that
you get
being
into it.
Recollection box, which is their starter that has extra goodies in there, so it comes with the full place of the cards and some sleeves and some booster packs. You also have a chance that when you open it up, there's a special little clear pack inside that has a what they call a CSR in this game. I don't know if Con could pull an image of that, but that's their version of what's called a collector super rare. And those go for a lot. Those are the ones that are $100+ just for one card. If it's a champion, it's in the 500s.
It's gonna be interesting going into like I think a card game that has a lot more support and like robust like community to where cards might be more expensive and like because like Force Will I think was probably a lot smaller. Like I guess another interesting question is how big is like Grand Archive currently compared to Force of Will at its like at both of their heydays, I guess. Which I have no idea what the question is.
That is a difficult one, only because I don't know enough from Force of Will's early days before we joined in as to their turnouts for the tournaments. I do know that they had some in the 200 to 400 range in those days before we jumped in. Matter of fact, when we jumped in, it was still on the high side, I would argue, where we went to Dallas and there was about 250 players at one of the Dallas GPs we went to, which was a year into us playing, because I remember playing Turbo Feetsing of that deck, so it was at least a year and a half into that. But in Grand Archive, I want to say I've seen like 200 to 400 depending on US based events, while certain other countries, like I want to say the current one for Akihabara, which is on pre-order only because it's like the end of October. It was I think 500 tickets sold and it sold out and they had to release. They had to find another room for the venue, and they released like another 100 or 200 tickets. And I want to say at this point it's at 800, and I think might be sold out again. So there could be this crazy 800 person GP event, level event happening, but I don't know. It's hard to know what the numbers are because I really wasn't around for that in Forcible's earlier times to focus on it.
Yeah.
The rewards you can get at events, I think, are already better though. Like those coins that you showed earlier are so nice compared to.
Oh yeah, and it has a nice
I
box.
can't even remember. I mean, like a little pin. I don't remember the things that.
I think we got a playmat.
Yeah, I feel like
you can always get playmats though. I feel like
Forcible overproduced playmats. It was like, hey, you came to the event. Here's a playmat. Did you top 8? Here's another playmat. It's the same one as before, but it says top 8 on it.
Oh, what's that? You were a judge. It's a
same one, but it says judge
on it.
Yeah. And I'm sure some of that exists in Grand Archive, but it's like me and Colin went to regionals, and we didn't get a playmat for entering. You know, you got a playmat for top 8 at the event, and people often will sell those and. Real quick because you can get pretty good money for those. That's what I was noticing. Like most Grand Archive playmats as a result are kind of on the pricier side.
Can you
they
check
nicer.
my ARG State Championship Spring 2016 playmat?
See what?
Could you price check my Spring 2016 ARG?
Hold it up and say, hey, does anybody have an offer on this? What's your? That's,
no, I don't want to.
That would be the price for it at that point.
You know what? I can figure this out.
But no, I enjoy that they don't overproduce things like that, like a ton of playmats. Helps retain the value on them. Most playmats when you see them on the secondary market can be anywhere from like 30 to I don't know $120, maybe even a little bit higher depending on how exclusive it was to certain things. Because judges get exclusive versions of mats. Like it doesn't just say judge in the corner; it's a whole new artwork.
That's super cool.
Yeah, see, that makes it more worth it, I think.
No, Grand Archive so far it seems like they go above and beyond for like price for people and the judges and all that.
Yeah,
like it actually feels worth it to go to these even if you're not doing good versus it's like those where it's like, well, if I don't top 16 at least, then this whole thing was a bust.
Yeah. Well, moving from talking about that, I actually had some other things that we could kind of discuss that have some hype for the next set. So we're real quick
before we move on. I just want to real quick before we move on because we were talking about art and Force of Will cards and stuff like that. This is the new set, I guess, like a mini set that came out.
What?
Enforce a Will.
Is that format? What is that?
This text box in all the words is one of the main reasons I left. But
it's a novel.
Oh, these are rune cards, aren't they?
It might be. It's some type of it's some type of mini set, but
it's the antechamber of the 10 dimensions.
It looks like at least for these they went to the box art, so I don't even know if my reference to Force will work for people who are I don't know. I don't know what's going on there. Okay, you can move on. Just I saw that, I was like, what the heck?
We have old video up called How Do Runes Work? Because that was a new mechanic that came out in Force of Will, and I was like, trying to figure out why is it over the past like 2 months, like it's maintained like 20 views consistently happening over time, and if that's what they're printing now, it's like, oh, okay, that makes sense. People just need to catch up on how these runes work. That's hilarious.
And they probably still work somewhat the same.
Yeah,
so that's nice at least.
Just because I've talked about it, can you pull up the artwork for Final Battle and compare it to a really nice card artwork? But I'm still on that. But what was I gonna say?
You can talk about the new stuff.
The words though. Before we get to that, the words on Force of Will did get kind of crazy. They always had a few cards here and there that had a lot of words on it, but I remember the Satan card near the end. I was like, you can't even read the text because it's so tiny on that specific card.
Like it becomes an actual legibility issue.
Yeah, and this isn't. And it is, but I didn't mean to make it that a shit on Force of Will, like for because that's a going card game, and I don't want to yuck anybody's yum, but it's just It was just some of the stuff that compared to Grand Archive, were
old. Yeah, we're just comparing and contrasting.
Yeah.
And old wounds.
We'll try to do this going forward again, but if it does, it's an accident, a natural accident. But yeah, Sarah's Collins Dragon Series. No, I was gonna say. So this game for product, they do have booster sets. What I do enjoy about this so far is that it's not every 3 months. I'm like, all right, what's the new set? All right, what's the new set? Like the set came out in July, the next set comes out in December. So I don't know how long it is. What, 4 months, 5 months? That's still more than 3, which is great. So it gives you time to breathe between sets.
Yeah.
The next, from what I can tell is every 2 sets kind of revolves around a world, or at least so far it has. The previous 2, which is Mortal Ambition and Heavenly Abyss, were focused around like the lore of Art of War type stuff. So that's where Kong Ming came from. Me and Kong run Goja. That's where she kind of comes from. Not that she relates to that directly, but it was just they're keeping within. I think it's Chinese lore, right, or Chinese mythology
Godzilla,
to a degree.
Godzilla is
Goja, not Gojira. But the latest one being Alice in Wonderland. I will say they don't. Before we get to the actual new set, they don't go as heavy into things as Force of Will did. Like I thought we're gonna have like a ton of like actually Alice in Wonderland themed stuff and heavy in it. And it's like, hey, here's what our interpretation of what the mice holding a shield would look like, and it's a card you'll probably never play. But stuff like that, it's like I thought we'd have a lot more. We're getting Tweedledee. Was it Tweedledee and Tweedledum? I don't know their names.
Yeah, no, I mean that was what you thought, because that was why you're like, you're gonna like this game. It's just starting though, let me tell you. And then one Alice card came out, and then I was like, "Ooh, who's the other? Who's Merlin?"
well, they do it.
I don't remember Merlin.
And that's the other part is I feel like Force of Will had some lore, and it was really there in the beginning. It was hard to read because it was broken English, but it was there, and then it kind of fell off, and it didn't exist for the longest time, and then it came back. This game though seems to be heavily based on lore. So like there actually are lore articles you can go sit there and read, and it will explain to you so much more about why they print in the way they print. Like locals, for instance, are saying like, oh, hey, it'd be cool if we got a Sadie reprint, but it's like, but lore wise, it doesn't make sense for them to reprint that card in the latest set because of the world she came from was like 3 or 4 sets ago. Mm-hmm. So I'd really be curious too if like that does prevent reprints from taking place.
I mean, it seems
because of that lore.
It seems like it's probably similar to Magic, where they visit different planes each, and they might not have much crossover. Like I think in Force of Will, a lot of the characters from the first kind of worlds, I think they end up kind of world hopping and stuff, or they there's a lot of connectivity. But in which I guess Magic kind of has started having that too. They have their plane chasers. It's been interesting to see, what they do with Grand Archive. I'm pretty excited because I also don't know much about the lore, so maybe I should do some reading.
I think I'll do some reading too. I was typically not into that, but if it's going to help understand what to expect going forward and help us with what we're doing here, I think I might start reading it. With that said, the next set is called Phantom Monarchs, and we've seen some teases of artwork, mostly from the Recollection decks. We saw Merlin and all 3 of her forms, and then there was also a 4th Merlin artwork that was shared that people believe is a unique ally. But what I was sharing here with the guys is tweets from Silidar. So Silidar is one of the game devs, one of the people behind the scenes kind of helping create the card game. Everybody has kind of different jobs from what I've seen. So there's like a specialized lore person who does nothing but lore, and different. Wow. Yeah, they have it kind of worked out pretty well from the looks of it. But Silidar will post tidbits leading up to the set release. Now, tidbit number 1 was a silly one, so I wasn't really gonna take a look at it. It was a reference to another content creator who there's a lot of Grand Archive podcasts. There's a lot of them, honestly. And this is just another one called Lineage Break. It's actually one I listen to every Friday. I do like those guys. So that's why wasn't going to show you originally, but that was tidbit number 1 technically. But going to number 2 is Incapacitate will be reprinted as an uncommon. That one, and Colin, I'm trying to find the cards, but if you want to go on Index, just type that in. That one was a card that came out. Yeah, we weren't really ready for this. I'm throwing this on Colin last second. He actively started pulling things up. I go, hey, look, I'm gonna lean heavily into that. This was originally a card printed in the Recollection deck. So the Recollection deck Melissa was showing off was the second wave of Recollections. The first wave, which is ones I was able to get a hold of, was the Sylvie Slime deck and a Tristan Assassin deck. And in that Tristan deck, they had this card. This card's actually pretty good, and it's something that other people will run because it's colorless and it's just a 4-cost canceling of an action card specifically. So this is what they're talking about being reprinted as a uncommon, which will basically is good news. This card was kind of pricey for being found only in a Recollection deck at the time. They reprinted it later in a special set with alternate artwork, but even that I'm sure is like not helping it necessarily come down in price. But printing as uncommon is actually pretty good news because now people will be able to get this probably like $1 or $2 kind of thing, depending on.
Yeah, I like that. I'd like it more if like this was like a full art and they reprinted it looking like this. But yeah, no, I appreciate that of them actually addressing the third party market of like this card's important, so we want to make sure people have access to it.
That's a green flag. Yeah.
So if you could show that one more time, but go back to the original tab for the card. And you see on the right side where it says REC P24, you click on the other ones, they'll show the artwork for the other ones because it was their promos made of them. So there's the an alternate version. I think if you click it, it changes it.
If I click it, it changes it. No, it doesn't.
That's pretty cool.
That's cool.
Yeah.
Like, see, they don't even have to do full 4. Even this is pretty great. Just relegating the text down here.
Yeah, and again, this goes to like promos only handed out a certain level of tournament play, so it makes them kind of an expensive card. So it's cool to see the reprint coming as uncommon though.
Yeah, and that might. I wonder if that would that make these versions more or less expensive.
I would imagine they come down a bit because that's.
I heard 2 different answers.
I get the more. I would like the more, but I think it may even come down a little bit. It is going to be based on people's art preference style, of course. We'll see what the next one looks like.
It would be cool, yeah. I just assumed it was the same art, but it would be cool if they changed the art up for it.
Yeah, and I just want to point this card out specifically because we talked about lore not making sense for reprints, but we're seeing this reprinted. So characters like units is, I think, what's specifically saying it's more difficult to reprint. But a lot of these cool action cards that can help decks out is great to see kind of coming in.
Yeah. I forgot. Oscar's giving me something else to put.
Yeah. No, these tidbits I understand off the top of my head, but I listened to content and they explained it. That one is just a backwards name. So Jujube Bird is a card being printed. Not all these tidbits are going to be like, oh, I took away so much information from that. I know so much about this game, this next set. Someone's just like, hey, that's just the name of an ally that's going to be in the next set. That's it. Don't know if that's going to be a good card or a bad card or what, but
I'm already.
I like the name Jub Bird.
Yeah.
I'll definitely get that card.
Bird's a good bird.
It better be a fat bird. I'll be upset if that's not a fat bird.
It needs to be like a bird of paradise, right? Where it's like it dies and draws you a card or something.
You can like cook it or something, and it draws you a card, and it's nice.
You can feed it like snacks, to make it get stronger. Like it gets a higher defense the more snack cards you feed it. Oh my gosh! Yeah. See, we can spin off lore and ideas off of this.
Genius designers.
Yeah. They're like, oh my god, they figured the whole thing out off of just jump
Write
bird.
this down. I'm taking notes.
It's the reverse.
Did you have? Is there other tidbits, Oscar?
Oh yeah,
God,
we
there
have
is.
7. We have like 6 or 7. I forget.
That's pretty good amount.
Number 4, the set features new product adjustments aimed towards our collectors of strength card. So we know what this one is. I believe it's what I'm thinking it is. I need a second. Y'all vamp for me.
Product adjustment sounds cool.
Yeah, for collector's strike. So that's either adjustment on like the rarity of it, so you can more likely to get it, or more cards of foil, or
Maybe better options for foil. Like Force of Will did have this pretty cool thing where they, I think it was only for like certain events, but they had like an all Uber rulers that featured like eight rulers that all had really cool artwork.
yeah, that was one of the coolest things they did.
Yeah,
Yeah,
very
it's basically it.
I called it. Oh,
I
see,
got it ready to
genius
go.
designer. Yep. Colin and I are we're investigators, just detectives.
Oh, we got all that
I-
from Jump Bird.
So I believe what this is referring to were these images that were
Whoa!
revealed. These are currently existing cards in the game already, but these would be special, super nice versions of them that could be pulled. Basically, again, a product adjustment aimed towards collectors, because the aim for this would be for collectors. As you already know from what we've talked about before, this is like when you see nice stuff and you're like, oh, I want that, you can already expect this to have a high price tag on it. This will be a 1 in every 15 booster box find, basically.
Oh my.
That's not bad.
Give you a ratio.
Well, if you're looking for a specific one, though,
Yeah, if I want only Terracite, yeah.
I really like. Yeah, no, these are gorgeous, actually.
I really like Cruxite.
That was the one I was gonna say. I was like, whatever the pink one was, I don't remember her name, but it was cute.
There's some really good ones. Like I like some of them just for their colors. Like that red one, Exeusite, just looks really nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I realized
Terra's cute.
Yeah, I have the worst looking Terracite, I think, because there's like 3 versions now.
Oh.
Of it.
Oh, you have the worst one.
Yeah.
Which one do you have?
It's just like a starter deck, basic looking one.
I'm just gonna assume Astro will be the most expensive one.
There's
It is still a very cool looking card.
Are you making that guess just from the artwork?
Yeah.
I was gonna say that it's funny because us talking about this, like, oh, they're so cool. I want that. They're so pretty. And like you listen to all these other podcasts where they've been establishing the game for the entire time, and they're like, why is Diana on Astrocyte? That doesn't make sense at all. Why isn't it this or that and all this other stuff? But
that's funny. I mean, if I do, I would probably bet too. Of like, why'd you put Charmander in the water zone? That doesn't make any sense. If I could see it if it was like something like that. But it, like aesthetic wise, color wise, it looks cool.
I want a pair of Umbracite's shoes. Those are insanity.
Platforms, yeah, those are crazy.
And
it's implied they're made out of crystal, it looks like.
There's more information on this. So these are helping for collectors, which is what that tidbit was referring to, I believe. There's CSRs in boxes, and that ratio is unchanged. I think this is a different slot, is what they're saying in the packs.
Oh, cool.
So something to keep in mind. And then the next tidbit. Tidbit number 5. No idle thoughts and Merlin recollections. She's too busy for that. So that one, for anybody on the outside of this, Idle Thoughts is hilarious because it is a card that's like super overprinted in every single starter deck, and it's a 1-cost colorless card. Look at the top 4 cards of your deck, and then you may put them back in any order. It's also a floating memory.
It's like it's every card game's most basic filler card of like not even get to recycle or anything. It's just put back.
So that's finally gone. Tidbit number 6, the Looking Glass Sights, which is what I just showed y'all, is feature a new foil treatment we're trying out. They can be found in PTME first edition booster packs. so there you go. The number rate of roughly 1 in every 15 boxes. They replace a normal foil slot and does not conflict with the CSR slot. So
so it's also a new foil process.
yeah, I have a video here. I'll see how well it uploads into Discord. I'm not sure how that's going to play out. But
how are you trying to share it?
I'm going to post it in Discord. See if it sends over. While it's trying to send over, what I was going to say is foils in this game
really well.
are kind of not super duper common. You get a booster box and maybe you get 2 foils, maybe you get 3 foils. So the fact that this takes up a slot, it's like 1 less of those foils.
Wow.
Yeah, no, that's really pretty.
Let me look at that again. That looks like they're like did some sort of printing to make it fake look like there's actual tiling on it with the black edges. You know what I'm saying? Like they maybe used raised black ink or something.
It probably is raised edges, honestly.
That you could see is that I can't tell if that's just the foiling or if that's actual texturing on the right side there, but
yeah.
It is really funny. Colin's like, yes, as a purveyor of shiny things, this one, the way that it does the shininess is very.
This one is extra shiny. I can confirm.
It meets the shiny quota.
Yeah, and I'm like raised edges. Okay, whatever. Yeah. I don't. Like if I had it in my
That's
hand,
amazing.
Yeah, it's pretty funny. It looks pretty nice though.
Yeah. I really like the look of that.
I don't know if I'll ever see one in hand, but it is very.
Yeah, I assume those will be like 3 or 4 pop at minimum.
So we'll wrap up this podcast with tidbit 6 here. It could lead to some conversation. We'll see how it plays out.
By that you mean tidbit 7.
Sorry, 7. I labeled it as 6. I forgot I eliminated 1. PTM will launch with a rule change on a similar scale of the sideboard change back in MRC.
This is what Oscar's been freaking out about.
It sounds like everyone has.
It sounds like everybody else is freaking out. I'm just like giving you all the information that I'm reading online.
Sure. That's one way to think about it.
So again, we have not been playing this card game very long. My initial thoughts when I read that was like, oh, okay, I remember the rule change. I think it went from where your material deck cards in your sideboard went from 2 points to 3 points. And I was like, it's not a huge change. This may be something simple as like, hey, both opponents roll the same dice at the beginning of the game. That's something I notice people don't do. They roll their own dice each. I'm used to everybody rolling the same dice.
I always offer my dice and they never take it. And then I was thinking back, it was like earlier games where they rolled and then I just grabbed their dice and rolled if they thought that was weird, because that's how every other game in history I've done it. Or not just me. I'm not going to put it on me. How every card game has done it. It isn't on me. This isn't on me.
Do you think it's like a pre-COVID, after COVID thing?
That's probably 100% it. That's a good point.
Did not even think about that. But yeah, I'm with Colin. I was in the same boat where I'm like, is it weird I just grabbed that guy's dice and rolled them? But is he like, weird about it? But no, it's so it didn't end up being that change. I think what I had heard was the original sideboard was an 8-card sideboard, but it could be literally any card. So somebody could literally put 8 material deck cards in there that they're pivoting between. And then they later made the rule, I believe, of normal cards from your main deck are 1 point and material deck cards are 2 points each. Then again, later got changed to being 3 points each. So with that said, I don't know if you guys.
So at some point they're gonna be like, screw it, 8 points for material deck cards.
But yeah.
Oh, you don't know what?
I don't know if you guys want a theory craft on what that could be. I don't know if we've been in this game long enough to be like, that's easily this. I've seen some ideas floating around. Some of them that I kind of support as well that I thought were pretty good was somebody had mentioned that your champion lineage in your material deck would not count against the material number total cost. So in this game, you have a side deck, I should call it, called a material deck, and it's 12 cards. In there is your champion lineage. So you start off as a spirit, you level 1, maybe level 2, maybe level 3. If you go all the way to level 3, it's 4 cards. What I was saying would make sense is if like the champion counts, but then the spirit counts, but the entire rest of the lineage doesn't. So it's 3 cards that don't go towards that number that you now have open to put whatever you want in addition.
Also, yeah. And
that'd be interesting.
That also just sounds like a really nice change that they should do, and which I feel like makes it more likely. Like I think it would put a lot of cool cool customization options and stuff when you're deck building, which is always pretty exciting.
Yeah.
The one Oscar was telling me that I thought was really funny was the allies were gonna come in and they weren't gonna be able to attack on the first turn, and that's something that I think is interesting because like a lot of games are like currently that's how it currently works, right? Like Magic has haste, Force of Will had something called swiftness, which was the same thing. So I was actually kind of surprised coming into it and realizing like, oh, I can like it can attack like as soon as it comes in. Oh,
it's hard to get used to.
Yeah, it not just couldn't attack the turn it comes into, it can attack into standing dudes if it wants to. So it's like all sorts of things you're just not used to. It's just a lot of fun to be able to do that.
Yeah, it would be crazy for them. So how long has, because I'm like 40, like how long has Grand Archive been going on for?
So I don't remember 100%. I want to say they just celebrated the second year of being in business in May or June.
Okay.
So about 2 years old. We're on set number 6 or 7 right now. Either 6 came out in July and 7's next one, or 7 was in July and 8's in the next one. I forget which one it is, but it gives you an idea.
That's nice.
So it's definitely not something that couldn't happen, is what I would just like to say. And I think it would be a very, like, there's been a lot of crazy shakeups, in other card game history. So I think it's fascinating to think about.
There's been a lot of retroactive stuff too done in other card games too, of like, well, this retroactively affects every card of this type backwards, and so it's not unprecedented, and then dead cards come out of it as a side effect.
Yeah, I mean, I also have like other theories on this because something that was teased in June, I forget if it was Worlds or Nationals, was that was a couple of things that are actually pretty cool. One of them was a digital kind of simulator thing where it's like a sandbox environment, which they did advertise being something that content creators could easily use to show the game off. And I was like, hopefully that means it works like Lackey did, where it's like, hey, I'm going to connect to you, Colin. Hey, I put my deck together. We just do our own rules. We put cards visibly on a table and move them around, which would be great, again, for recording videos, but especially with Joey, because he's not with us here to record physically.
Yeah.
And another thing was, yeah, he passed away. The other thing that was shown was there's a new format coming out that's called Pantheon. My theory on that was that it's a multiplayer format that's going to be supported the way Shadowverse Evolved did their multiplayer format, where it has its own special product line, and that was their way of doing reprints from older sets to help players who are near get cards.
That'd be cool.
I think I don't want it to be, but it would make sense as a singleton format multiplayer thing, and then that way, so it's like, hey, I went and bought that Pantheon deck and it came with one Arthur, and Arthur's like a $30 card already, because it wouldn't make sense to go and buy it and had a full place of Arthurs in it. You know what I'm saying? So stuff like that.
Yeah.
I think the reason I was getting into that, by the way, that wasn't the point. Well, I wonder if there's like a rules change that they want to set up, so that way when Pantheon comes out, it's like, hey, there's a smoother transition into that, rather than, hey, there's going to be a change we need to make to that format. Do we do it when it releases or something? That's kind of some of my theories on it.
Interesting. Oh, I like that theory too. I would really enjoy like a Pantheon singleton format, because I love playing Commander from Magic and stuff, and I think this would I think people it is kind of like interesting doing the like 1-to-1 things, and like well if Magic had it, this Grand Archive should have it kind of thought process, but
because all the work is done for you pretty much. You just got to change the wording. And it's, I agree. Like Epic Stories was super fun in Force Will, which was another singleton card format. It was essentially just Commander. And so, especially Pantheon, I feel evokes like a single type of theme.
Like gods on the Pantheon.
Well, like there's a pantheon of gods, but there's like,
but there's only
they're
one
each singular. There's singular of each of the gods,
Yeah, that was why I thought
too much into
multiplayer
it.
format is because when you Google the word Pantheon to look what the definition is, it does say the gathering of gods. So that's why I thought, it's easily a multiplayer format.
Yeah.
But you really want
that'd be cool.
singleton? I don't know. I'm like, I think there's some,
Yeah.
I think it's like this weird thing where it's either they don't do singleton, it's a full playset, but there's a large ban list, or yeah, you go singleton. Because there are some cards where it's like, I don't need Colin with 3 Craggies on the board while we each go in a rotation of 3 other players playing 0-cost cards, and that Craggy coming to Colin's turn has 3 counters or 2, and he flipped it already. You know?
Yeah.
So, I get that.
Plus the consistency of being able to get it with 4 copies in the deck or whatever.
Yeah. So I do get it, but it's just
You should get it.
I think
I just don't want singleton format.
I think the interesting
Maybe
part
it's a pantheon of formats.
I think singleton formats, I think you really need to like buy into. Like I personally love like roguelites, right? And like all that random stuff happening. So I think that's why I enjoy the singleton stuff, because it's like, oh, every time I draw my cards, it's like a new, it's a whole new world out there.
What if they came out with a box set of cards that were legal for play, but they were new cards that were specifically made so you could play Grand Archive with that box of cards, like a deck builder with people? That'd be cool.
Yeah.
Like do a new hybrid that Magic hasn't done.
Well, I would say on the Shadowverse Evolve thing, their multiplayer format was singleton. And the box, when you'd go buy the deck, it did have reprints that you could use in legal play for their standard play. But it also had unique cards that were for only the multiplayer format, which I thought was...
Yeah, and you just change the border or something like that to make distinguish. It's similar to what Pokemon does with their that tournament winning deck, Worlds deck you can buy after the Worlds winner, but they're all got that nicer border.
I think that's something I really like about like having like good like deck products that I can just kind of like buy a deck, and then I don't really have to think too hard about like assembling something or like doing my own deck building. Sometimes, it's nice.
Yeah.
I hate building decks. I hate it.
Yeah.
That's why I love these boxes. It's great.
No, I hate
once
building
I get
decks
real
too.
into it, I'll like it occasionally, but yeah, it takes a bit.
I hate building decks because I don't know what to do. It's like, oh, I'm gonna run 4 of this or 2 of this, or it should be 3, or is 1 enough? I don't understand how to do my numbers and like that correctly. So when it comes to a singleton format, that's why I've made probably so many epic stories. I say, hey, it's easy, just 1 card of each one goes.
I was gonna say that should mean you like singleton story for.
Well, yeah, this is my pitch towards liking that is I will likely build a lot more decks if that's the case, because I can easily do that. But there was also a lot more limitations to like how epic stories worked, because it was like based on the color of your rulers, but how you do that with Grand Archive, and it's basically the basis of the game. It's like,
I mean, it kind of makes sense if you have a ruler, you can only build in those colors, and then your
you still have a material deck.
The same thing though, right? As like how it is
this
currently.
this has to be multiplayer format. This is really smart when you think about it, because like there's not a ton of certain advanced element cards yet, but they're getting to the point where there's gonna be, and so this makes sense to have this multiplayer format, because now from this point forward there's probably gonna be a lot more diversity in that kind of thing. I guess I'm seeing it.
Seeing the vision.
And then this is gonna happen, I'd be really disappointed. I hype myself up for something that's not gonna happen.
Before we close out real quick, I just want to be fair, because I went and checked these are some more modern Force of Will cards, so they still do the art in the background. I just want to be fair.
Oh, okay. I like that one on the right. It's actually really nice.
Yeah, the one on the right's cute.
No, this one I actually noticed was good. The low on the
You should have
left's
just
okay,
stayed on that screen. I don't care.
But
for
the
those two.
text issue remains.
That's
There's
some
a
nice
lot.
But there's
artwork.
some these cards, especially with the spikies going over, this actually looks legit cool.
Yeah, these
This
are
one
pretty
right
cool. So I'm not. That's why I halfway into that. I was like, I'm not trying to shit on this.
It was pretty
They
funny.
have
Even though we are.
beautiful cards. Yeah, I still have
Yeah.
decks or a deck just because I wanted like certain cards because of how cute they were. They're
Oh,
pretty.
yeah, I have,
that one
like-
on the left's pretty.
I want to have like 10 or 12 decks that are fully built just from old decks I enjoyed
Nice.
when we played the game. Just so, hey, who knows? Maybe we'll do a record on and have it a video one day. Yeah, but
This is cool. This artist needs to do more animal stuff. That looks really cool.
You into animal stuff, Colin?
And you lose screen privileges.
But that's gonna be it from us. Again, we're TCG Scrub. Woo, hello. And this is not episode 1. This will be a
0.
negative episode, but you can check it out anytime you want, and we'll be more official going forward. Just kind of getting back in the swing of it and trying to find the rhythm again.
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, we'll see ya.